Join the movement of self-discovery and acceptance. This is where we strive for more satisfaction, success, and peace while eliminating doubt, frustration, and bitterness. Come along with me as we explore human design with real-life examples and permission to love yourself better. Are you ready to go? Hello, hello, hello. What if I told you I know how to make your decision-making process easier? That's right. I am that powerful. Ha 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 ha. Except that your human design chart is going to tell me all the answers. I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person that has always mulled over everything before making a very careful decision about something, especially if it's a big decision. I talk to friends about it, make pros and cons list, journal about how I'm feeling around each of the outcomes. Most of the time, I also dive into massive research around each scenario and even analyze the characters in the book I was reading, how they would handle the situation as well. No, but it might as well have gone that far. After finding human design, I realized I was incorporating everybody else's decision-making process into my routine and not even the one that's most right for me, which is checking in with my gut. You might be thinking, yeah, Laura, that's a pretty common phrase to hear when you're making a decision. What does your gut say? Or go with your gut. I'm going to elaborate a little. If you don't remember, I am a generator type, and we make up about 70% of the population. Therefore, this phrase of going with your gut makes sense that it's somewhat mainstreamed. However, not all of us are designed to use our gut when making big decisions, and even those of us that can use our gut in certain situations still have an emotional wave that needs to be checked in on before making any large pivots in our life. Let me explain. First of all, our minds aren't designed to help us make decisions. I know that sounds absolutely insane and probably think I'm off my rocker. Is that even a phrase we use anymore? Boy, that sure dates me, I guess. However, after experimenting with my true authority, I can attest that my brain now just gets in the way. I like to tell my clients that the minute you start to justify your decision by saying something like, I'm going to choose this route because, then you know your mind was involved. Now, that doesn't mean that your decision isn't correct for you. It just means that your brain took over and you'll have to do some backtracking to check in with your true authority before committing to the decision you think you want to go with. Figuring out and following your own personal authority probably won't come easy to you because family and society condition us to think we need to process through every decision carefully and justify why it's a good decision. In fact, another thing I've learned is that whatever decision comes up when using your authority may not always make logical sense, but your body is telling you that it's the right decision for you right now. You can find your personal authority on your human design chart. If you don't have yours, make sure you go to laurabhipp.com and download one for free. After listening to a brief overview of the different authority types that I'm about to talk about next, I encourage you to truly experiment with yours. And let me know if you want a support person with all of this, because like I said, sometimes it's not easy. Okay. There are 8 different types of authorities in human design. I'm going to talk about them in a hierarchy that are represented in the body graph or human design chart. The first decision-making authority is emotional authority. Approximately 50% of the population has their emotional solar plexus defined, and this is what determines whether you have emotional authority or not. In case you forget, the emotional solar plexus center is on the right-hand side, just above the root. Even if you have another decision-making center filled in, such as the sacral center, which is directly left of the solar plexus, you'll always use your emotional wave to help you make big decisions in your life. This is a complex decision-making process that I will explain in a future episode, but for now, you can think of it this way. When you're faced with a big decision, you'll want to go through all of the emotions around the situation. You want to get to a neutral spot, and then the decision will become clear to you. If it doesn't, then your logic might be getting in the way, or you might not have let yourself feel all the things around it. The next in the hierarchy is sacral authority. This is my personal decision-making process and the one I talked about earlier. Only generators and manifesting generators have access to this primal gut response to making decisions. They are all able to check in with their gut around small, everyday decisions. But if they have their emotional solar plexus defined, then they will want to follow their emotional wave for bigger ones. Splenic authority is for those that have their spleen center defined. This is a similar feeling as checking in with your gut, but it's more subtle and kind of like an intuition or sensing. Many people with splenic authority say that they have an inner knowing around what's right for them. And most of the time they can sense what opportunities and people are safe or right for them. Ego authority applies to only manifestors or projectors. This process comes from having your will center defined. It's very I-driven and can come across as egotistical sometimes. Making decisions are slightly different for each of these types. Both need to talk through their decisions, but manifestors will find themselves using phrases like I want, and projectors will say things like I do or do not. Both of these phrases refer to what the person wants or needs for themselves right now, not a wanting or possession of something. Next, we have self-projected or mental authority. Both of these are only found in projectors and have a great deal to do with talking through their situations. If you have self-projected authority, then you can probably identify with being a verbal processor. You really need to let the truth flow through and not let your mind get in the way. Once you speak it, you will know what the right decision is for you. For mental authority, the environment is essential to your decision-making process. If the people you're with or the environment feels wrong to you, then the decisions you make in this environment have a higher tendency of being wrong for you as well. As a rule of thumb, always surround yourself with people that feel right. As you might have been able to deduce, your projector and manifestor friends and family need to talk through things and don't necessarily need advice, but just a sounding board. So always ask them if they'd like your input or if they just want you to listen. If you are a reflector, then your authority is to wait a lunar cycle or 28-day process before making big decisions. This is also your strategy to how you walk through life. You might have been told growing up that you take too long to make decisions. Well, here's your permission to take the time you need and don't feel like you have to commit until you're ready. It's really important for you to surround yourself with people that understand this about you. Following your energetic aligned authority allows us to make decisions that are individually correct for us. And unless you're a pure generator, it's okay to give yourself at least one sleep before committing to anything. Experimenting and practicing my own authority has changed my life and brought about more ease around making decisions. Check out the episodes that outline each authority in a little more detail to give you a better understanding of how to determine what's right for you. Those will be coming up in the future. In the meantime, start thinking about the things I talked about here today and see if you can begin your experiment and path to making life easier. Until next time, happy exploring. I'm so glad to connect with you today. Please follow the show, forward it to a friend, and leave a review. Send me an email with how human design has changed your life, and I might feature you on the show. Until we meet again, don't forget to love yourself better.